Weak men over-explain. Insecure minds rush to justify. And people who feel powerless always try to be understood. But here's the truth. Power doesn't explain itself. It doesn't ask to be believed. It simply exists, and others adapt. In this episode of the Machiavelli series, we're breaking down how over-explaining kills power, why apologies often do more harm than good, and how quiet certainty rewires social dynamics. This isn't about being rude. It's about being untouchable. Let's begin. Section 1. Why we over-explain, the root of insecurity. Most people explain themselves for one reason. They want permission. Permission to be accepted. Permission to be understood. Permission to not be rejected. And that need makes you weak. When someone senses you're trying to be approved, they know they have the upper hand. Because now your emotional state depends on their reaction. You say too much, you clarify before you're questioned. You keep talking even after they've stopped listening. The more words you use, the less power they carry. Section 2. Real power moves in silence. Let's say someone accuses you of something subtle, being distant, being too confident. They want you to shrink, to explain yourself, to pull back. But you don't. You look at them, say nothing, or respond with a neutral, grounded line like, "That's how I operate." No emotion, no apology, no defense. The shift in energy is immediate. They expected resistance, not stillness. And stillness makes people uncertain. Uncertainty makes them self-correct. Section 3. A story, the manager who lost control. I once worked under a manager, we'll call him Andrew. Brilliant guy, but deeply insecure. Whenever someone challenged his decisions, he'd explain them in detail. Why he made that call. Why he phrased that email. He'd speak for 5 minutes straight just to make everyone feel included. But each explanation made him seem less like a leader and more like a guy begging to keep the room calm. Then there was another executive, Elena. Said almost nothing in meetings. Made decisions quickly without justification. And when someone questioned her, she'd say, "I trust my instinct on this." She didn't raise her voice, didn't debate, didn't explain, and everyone respected her more, because authority doesn't beg to be respected. It just behaves like it already is. Section 4. The psychology of certainty. This is backed by psychology, too. In a study on nonverbal persuasion, people rated speakers who were less animated and more still as more trustworthy and powerful. The less you signal insecurity, the more confident your message feels. Certainty is contagious. And nothing radiates certainty like restraint. You're not trying to win anyone over. You already assume you're understood. This is what intimidates people. Not aggression, not bravado, just quiet control. Section 5. The problem with apologizing. Now let's be clear. There are times when an apology is necessary, when you've truly harmed someone or crossed a line you shouldn't have. But 90% of apologies in social interaction aren't about ethics. They're about approval. You say sorry because you're afraid they'll think you're rude. You say sorry because you asked for something. You say sorry because you interrupted someone or answered late. Each time you signal this. My presence is a burden. Let me shrink myself to make you feel comfortable. And once people feel your willingness to shrink, they start expecting it. Section 6. A better way, owning the frame. The strongest people don't explain what they do. They frame what they do. Example, you're late. They say, "You're always late." Instead of justifying it or apologizing in panic, you say, "Yeah, I move on my own time, let's go." That one sentence keeps the frame. They try to challenge your attitude. You don't justify it, you project certainty. Here's the psychological trick. People adapt to certainty faster than logic. They may not agree with you, but if you don't flinch, they start acting like you're right. Why? Because it's uncomfortable to question someone who doesn't question themselves. Section 7. The social mirror effect. There's a phenomenon in psychology called mirroring. Not just body language, but emotional rhythm. When you panic, they panic. When you overtalk, they overanalyze. When you're grounded, they slow down too. This is why in power dynamics, less is more. Saying less, explaining less, pausing more. All of it sends a nonverbal signal that says, I'm not worried about being understood, you'll adjust. And they usually do. Section 8. How to apply this in real life. Here's how to use this starting now without turning cold or robotic. Resist the urge to fill silences. You don't owe anyone an instant reaction. Let moments breathe. Replace apologies with clarity. Instead of, sorry I was late, try thanks for waiting. Instead of, sorry if that came off wrong, say, let me rephrase. Speak less when challenged. If someone questions your motive, respond calmly and briefly. Or don't respond at all. Hold your tone steady. Panic is viral. So is composure. Let your rhythm set theirs. Remember, the less you explain, the more people listen, because they start wondering what you're not saying. The observer's take. The next time you feel the need to explain yourself, don't. Pause. Breathe. Look back at them like your presence is the explanation, and let them adjust to your frame. Because power doesn't yell. It doesn't justify. It doesn't ask for permission. It just acts and lets the world catch up. This is the Machiavelli series. Subscribe for more lessons in psychology, power, and quiet control. See the unseen, control the game.